You know it's about to be some drama when he got a man bun. Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. And this is my review on Love and Marriage Detroit, Season 1, Episode 1. What up, though? So I'm happy when I saw the previews to this actual show. I was excited to see it. I've always heard, of course, about Love and Marriage, Huntsville in DC, but they have so many seasons that I just didn't want to go backwards to be able to catch up on everything and understand the history of all the couples. So I'm excited that I'm starting off this show from the beginning. So we are in the D. It's so cold in the D. My friends are gonna I already know they're gonna cuss me out. Chris, don't sing that song. My friends from Detroit hate that song. I don't know if you guys remember that song, but it was very popular, I think, back in like 2013, 2014. And my friends from the D hated it. They was like, do not sing that song. That does not represent Detroit. We hate it with a passion. I mean, we all have our things that we hate about people. And I mean, what we hate about what people assume about our cities and where we're from. Hell, where I'm from, people think that, we just crip walking, smoke weed every day, and we don't. Okay. So, it is what it is. People assume a lot because of certain artists and certain people, but, it was just, a good time to sing that song. It's in Detroit. What can I say? Love y'all though, I really do. But anywho, moving on. So Carlos King starts off by introducing all of the couples, okay? And so first we have Colby and Russell Harris, and they are both into fitness. And then we see that she is an influencer and a content creator. And then we also have Russell, who has a nonprofit, and they have one daughter together. And then we have Christina and Brandon Smith. I call Brandon Man Bun, okay? As soon as I saw him, I immediately called him Man Bun, and I am not the only one who thinks that way because clearly his own friend Anthony calls him Man Bun as well. So they are, Brandon, he has his own music company. I guess it's like an artist development company. And so Christina is actually a fashion designer and she's an image consultant. So I thought, oh, that's a match made in heaven. You're into artist development. She's into fashion. I'm assuming you guys work together, but we we learned later on in the episode that they did, but it wasn't a good damn idea, and I'll talk about that later. So we have them now. They met off of Twitter, okay, and literally within 6 months or less than 6 months, they got married, and they've been married for 11 years, okay. Then we have Latoya and Anthony. Latoya is a doctor. She is a physical therapist and she also has her own wine company. And then Anthony actually works for Live Nation and he is also an entrepreneur as well. Let's start off with the fact that when I tell you we have some beautiful Black couples on this screen, it's amazing. They all look good and they are all very accomplished. So kudos to that. I immediately fell in love with them from the beginning because I was just like, this is what I'm talking about. This is the Black love that I do want to see on TV. Okay. So with that, they all meet up at the park because they're actually having like a picnic slash barbecue, all of that good stuff for Father's Day. Okay. Oh, and Latoya and Anthony have 3 kids. I think they said they have, 3 kids. And then we have Christina and Brandon. They have 2 daughters. Okay. So everybody, families, accomplished, love it. So while they're eating, They talk about a trip as far as Vegas is concerned. And somewhere in the process of them talking about Vegas, Brandon says that he couldn't go to Vegas, okay? And so we find out he couldn't go to Vegas because Christina didn't want him to go. So immediately I was like, okay, what's that about? Like, what's going on? Why can't he go to Vegas? So that tells me man bun. Again, man bun done did some shady shit. And we gonna find out later. So Anthony says that he's actually planning a man trip, and he's talking like, this is what's gonna happen, take it or leave it. And Christina, which is Man Bun's wife, is like, are you asking or are you telling us? And Anthony said, I'm not asking. Yeah, right. See, that's one thing I can't stand is a man who swear up and down that he not asking, he gonna do what the hell he wanna do, knowing damn well he looking at the side, making sure that his wife ain't pissed off. I doubt very seriously you talking about something you not asking, you gonna have to run it by your wife. And she was looking at him like, okay, you can have your moment. You can have your moment on camera, but you know damn well you're not going anywhere without asking me. Or at least letting me know what the details are. You know what I'm saying? So with that, Christina looks at Brandon, man bun, is like, well, are you asking me or are you telling me? Brandon looked like he's scared to respond. Okay? He's silent like a mofo. So the other man are looking at Brandon like, I mean, damn, man, is your peen cut off? Like, what's going on here? So we instantly start off this season with the whole gender roles. Okay? It's almost coming off as in the men and they feel like what they should be able to do, and the women and what they feel like they should allow them to do. So we're already starting off this way. So I was like, okay, here we go. So after that little tussle about this whole man vacation or bromance or whatever, Colby and Christina meet at the kids gym, and we find out that Christina is 40 years old, and child, black don't crack unless you I think you know the rest. But yeah, Christina looks good for her age. But she's being very honest and vulnerable with Colby because she says she's kind of struggling finding herself again between mommyhood and being a wife. And Colby gives her words of encouragement. And I love that, she's able to give her words of encouragement. And I believe that Christina said that Colby is like 10 years younger than her. And, oftentimes when people are older, they tend to think that they know everything, and they feel like someone younger can't tell them anything or give them wisdom or give them, information. And I like the fact that Christina seemed to be really accepting of Colby's feedback and encouragement. So kudos to that. So Man Bun is in the studio, and he has a new artist named was it Nivea? Is it Nivea? I don't know. Nivea. She's a pretty girl. And she's in the studio and she's singing. And we find out while he is in the studio with her that he hasn't told his wife about this new artist that he's developing. Man bun, man bun, man bun. So Christina calls him while he's at the studio. And he's coming off very annoyed about speaking with his wife. And clearly there is something going on here. We don't know yet. But of course, my intuition was kicking in. And I was like, this man done played around with one of his artists or something before, or something when it comes to this music industry. And she does not trust him. But she pretty much speaks to him and she's asking him questions. And the main thing that she claims she wants to know is when he's coming home. And we find out that from pretty much in the morning, all day to all night, he is literally in the studio or at his company. And so she says in a confessional with Man Bun that she feels like that he puts his company in front of the family. And so he says that, well, if he felt more appreciated, he would come home more. So yeah, this is about to be some ish. So he tells us in the confessional that he hasn't told Christina about this new artist, and he feels like when the time is right, he will tell her. But right now, he ain't telling her shit. Oh boy, it's about to get real nasty very, very soon. So Latoya and Anthony meet up and they talk about I guess Anthony has to go to Atlanta soon. And then we find out there was a big issue about him being in Atlanta before. So apparently, because he works in the music industry, he had to go to Atlanta and he just went without really talking to, his wife and the family about it. And this was like right in the beginning of the big C. Okay. So this was right in 2020 and he just left. And from what it sounds like, this just wasn't like a weekend trip. He just left for like, I'm assuming months, because she said when he left, she was working in the hospital at this time. Mind you, this is when the big C just happened. So you know how the hospitals were at that time. And she said she would have to come home and then literally help with the kids. They were doing virtual schooling at the time. So she said it was a lot on her. And based on, I guess, what she was going through, she pretty much gave him an ultimatum to bring his ass back home. And I agree with her. Like, that time was stressful for everyone, but especially first responders, doctors, nurses. Like, literally, they were having mental breakdowns in the hospital. They were overworked, overwhelmed, on top of the fact that they were seeing a lot of people get sick. And they were nervous about getting sick themselves, bringing it home to their families. And you decide to just leave and go to Atlanta without even talking to her about it. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. So Anthony is making it seem like, look, back in the day as a man, we did what we wanted to do. That's what it was back in the day. And she's like, but it's not back in the day. So he comes off like, this has to be Team Thompson. And, she's like, it is Team Thompson. It is always Team Thompson. Just, we need to have better communication before you just make a decision that has to pretty much affect the whole entire family. So with that, and I agree with her, I agree with her. But again, this seems like what it is right now. This is the gender roles, this is the gender issue, the gender conflicts right now on what a man should be able to do and a woman should be able to do. Hopefully, this is not the whole season, though. I'm hoping it's just this episode. I don't want this all season. So, Man Bun and Christina celebrate 11 years of marriage and they have a little picnic. And so the gender roles come back in, okay? And so Anthony goes into what his man movement is all about, and Christina feels like he's a male chauvinist. And he starts talking about how Brandon Man Bun was on his way to being the next guy in the music world. And he almost implies that Christina is the reason why he's being held back. Anthony, you should mind your business. See, this is when you stepping into people's boundaries when it comes to their marriage, okay? And so Christina is like, I don't hold him back. I just don't do the clubs. And then Anthony continues to interfere and literally talks to Brandon and says, Brandon, don't let her hold you back, man. Don't let her hold you back. Whoo, it couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. Christina was like, she was going in on Anthony, though. I mean, she wasn't going hard, but she was trying to be as nice as possible by saying, don't overstep your boundaries. I don't hold him back. So because of that, she had to say, because of the history, I have to be cautious and set boundaries. And then at that point, Anthony wanted to shut his ass up because he was like, wait, what history? This ain't about business. What history are you talking about, right? So at that point, she doesn't want to say anything, but you could tell Brandon's like, oh, here we go. So Kobe brings up that Brandon is developing a new artist in front of everyone. And this is where pillow talking goes wrong. So Russell told Kobe about Brandon developing a new artist, but he did not tell Kobe that Brandon had not told Christina yet. Okay, so pretty much Kobe thought Christina knew. So she ends up telling Christina in front of everyone, and Christina didn't even hear from her own husband. So you know that was about to be a shit show. So at that point, it became real awkward. And so Kobe continued to talk and say, "Are you developing other artists?" And Russell's like, hold up now, hold up now. Stay out of their household, stay out of their household. And Kobe's like, "I'm not in their household." And Brandon's like, "You got your foot, your toe, or something in our household." Well, that's interesting. That's interesting, Brandon, because Anthony was all up in your household, but because he was defending you, you didn't have shit to say. Now that you in the freaking fire for not telling your wife about this new artist, now you're mad at Kobe for being in your household. Yeah, you full of shit. So, with that being said, they kind of argue a little bit, and we find out that Brandon had an emotional connection with one of his artists. And the betrayal really came in because Christina was helping this artist. I'm assuming she was doing the image consulting and the fashion stuff and really was helping develop this artist. And to find out that this artist was creating this emotional connection with her man. Now, she didn't confirm if there was actual intimacy besides the emotional part, but that's messed up. Now I see why Christina's the way that the way she is right now, and why she also will not develop any more of his artists, because he said that in the beginning of the episode, like she won't dress or style any of my artists. Well, she tried, and look what happened. Look what happened. So Christina gets emotional because she's like, "Oh, so you signed this girl and you didn't even tell me." And he's like, "You tripping over a contract?" And she's like, "No, I'm tripping over the betrayal of you not telling me, and the fact that we're trying to do so much here, and yet you signed another artist that's going to take you away from time with the family." And so she starts breaking down, and Brandon gets up and he's like, "Let's have a side conversation. Let's have a side conversation." And child, while he walking away, Christina's still there crying and talking. And the anniversary, the 11th year anniversary, is ruined at that point, honey. Look, so far so good with this show, you guys. I would highly recommend that you watch it. It's drama, but right now it's still like it's good drama. You know what I mean? You know, it's definitely that safe drama that's entertaining that we love. So if you guys have watched this episode, what do you guys think so far about the show? I would say out of a 10 being the best, I would rate this like a 9, 8.59. Like, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I didn't doze off or anything. So please like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comments below. And I will see you on my next video. Toodles.